Hi everyone, Sandman here. This video is brought to you by a donation from an anonymous a-hole, and here's what he has to say. Hi Sandman, my topic request is something I've been fascinated with for a while. It seems not to be covered very often. Epiphany phase women. A little background on me first. I'm in my mid-30s, grew up sheltered in a suburban housing tract, and was almost never allowed to socialize outside of school. I'm a naturally social guy who grew up in a clannish, mother-controlled, conservative, stressful, Puritan, work ethic-obsessed family, so this was hellish for me and bestowed upon me the label of black sheep that lasts to this day. This caused me some social awkwardness because I was so excited to socialize when I could that I would F up and come out as a total autist. I went to college and immediately made a ton of friends, got recruited into a top-performing fraternity, and enjoy a crazy social life in a major West Coast city. I was always a beta by choice, even in my college days, thinking that that was the road less traveled way to get girls. It worked a few times, but probably only because I had the social proof of fraternity letters, mega alpha friends, and a knack for throwing parties to back me up. I've always been fascinated by social norms. Nothing is more entertaining than watching women go from their alpha schlong hungry college days to those post-college years and onwards into their 30s. It's like a dog with 3 legs. You don't want to look, but damn, it's hard not to. Here are a few choice life paths I documented for the college party girl. Number 1. Graduate, still single, but good looking. Move to California or Las Vegas, where successful men buy you bottle service. Spend too much time in the sun and partying, fail to land a rich husband or get famous, move back north broke, and marry a beta simp. Future divorce optional. Post on Facebook about how much you want to travel and how wanderlust you really are. Don't actually travel, remain unhappy. Number 2. Graduate single and unattractive, get fat, get administrative job at a non-profit, maybe marry another unattractive beta, fade into obscurity. Number 3. Graduate attractive and be engaged to an alpha or beta soon after. Most of these divorce within a few years, but the successful ones seem to be the ones that are the most well off today. Boring, but a good deal for girls in society. Number 4. Graduate somewhat attractive but keep partying. These are the girls that still want Chad's attention and will settle for nothing less. They are maybe a 7 out of 10 at best, but the partying and being thrown into the real world destroys their attitudes and looks. They keep on shutting decent guys down into their mid-20s and keep doing this even after they lose their looks and stuff their gullets with wine and brunch. These are the silent victims of feminism and the Sex and the City lifestyle. They really think that they're going to ride on their looks until their magical prime. Into their early 40s, they've actually been hearing about so much. Some of these women also divorce their husbands to exploit this fabulous lifestyle. The thing is, the supply of alpha men dries up around the age of 27 or 28. This is when it gets hilarious. So these post-war women heavily get into social media narcissism. Their ego manifests in joining an echo chamber of you go-girl feminist women power claptraps that basically flood Facebook, Instagram, and lately even LinkedIn. They hit their epiphany phase. They swear off casual sex, humbly brag about being tactile.
Red light camera reported ahead.
Eat useless body cleanses, eat and photograph disgusting-looking expensive health products and detoxes, to keep on partying. They up their standards to a level that not even Chad can meet. They sometimes magically find long-term boyfriends, post photos incessantly on social media with them, and none of them seem to last more than a couple of months. Sometimes they find their data provider, but the really entertaining ones get so self-obsessed that they type themselves as empowerment coaches or health coaches, which is a denial mechanism they're using to extend their shelf life and avoid having to get real jobs. I mean, look at some of these accounts on Instagram and look at the pain inside their eyes. You can do this because they all post ultra close-up facial selfies in their validation-seeking posts. This is their last-ditch effort at fame and landing their chat. But the market for this is saturated, and they eventually give up because they can't get any followers. Sometimes they'll post hundreds of pictures of their dog for cheap likes or pictures with their baby nieces in hopes that someone comments asking if it's her baby, but none of this interests Chad. Depression, therapy, and ego-masturbating self-discovery trips to Bali ensue. Some of these girls despise me now because in this time I've improved my life, career, have a regular rotation of 20-something girls, travel on lavish vacations, and generally alphaed up over the years. I'm not sure what happens next to these women, but I'll let you know in another 5 years. P.S. We should all crowdfund expensive ego-massaging health food products to sell to these post-ball epiphany phase women. We can funnel that sweet data alimony cash right into our pockets. Well, anonymous a-hole, thanks for your donation. These epiphany phase women seem to have incredibly high standards as they expire out of their 30s and head well into their 40s. I've had a bit of my own epiphany lately that women don't actually face the wall the way that we think they do. The wall for them is not getting too old to get attention from men anymore, but they get too old or unattractive to get the attention from the men that they really want it from, the chads. They will still get attention from men even into their 60s and 70s, but they just don't get the attention from the alphas that they want. They want the alpha males that are willing to settle down with them, the used up beta females. That's like the no-alt unicorn for one of these women. A post-ball beta female's unicorn is an alpha male that wants to settle down with her. You'd be surprised, but for some of them, this actually happens. They quite often wait for the newly discovered alpha males that might have been married for 20, 30, or even 40 years. For whatever reason, these guys leave those relationships and are now free on the market. Maybe his ex-wife was an alcoholic, or she was verbally abusive or physically abusive to boot. Perhaps she died. Suddenly there's a new alpha male on the market, and the epiphany phase women that have realized this have the perfect patsy to target. An alpha male that's been in a relationship for so long that he has no idea of his value in the sexual marketplace. And women are willing to wait a decade or two for such a guy. My ex-girlfriend of 10 years, her mother found herself such a guy. Things ended between him and his alcoholic wife, and he was free to date. He was tall, wealthy, with his own house, cottage, investments, luxury vehicle, etc. Her mother waited 10 to 15 years of being single to be with him. He was so happy with her because she's a quiet woman that uses passive-aggressive manipulation and puts men at ease by not talking to them. To him, she was the first woman he had ever been with that was like this, and he was stunned by her and she seduced him. My ex learned to be one of the quiet ones from her mother, it seems. So just to recap, women that pass the wall do not actually have an epiphany and think that life is finished. They will keep seeking out the unicorn guy if they can. They know if he's out there, they will scour the hospices, funeral homes, divorce courts, or any other place where a recently divorced alpha male might be hanging out. In the meantime, many women will do the things that you mentioned, including becoming speaking coaches, life coaches, empowerment coaches, etc. I know tons of women like that all try to basically become professional speakers so they don't have to get real.
In 1,000 feet, stay to the left to Manhattan Bridge, the lower roadway, Canal Street West.
Some women will post on Facebook every day trying to start music careers at 40 and become television stars. Many of my clients with regards to video and photography are in their late 30s or 40-something women trying their last-ditch efforts to become famous and get attention. Most don't give up, they just keep going.
In 800 feet, use the left 2 lanes to turn slightly left to stay on Manhattan Bridge lower roadway.
About how at any moment, their coaching career...
Stay to the left to Manhattan Bridge, the lower roadway, Canal Street West. Speed trap reported ahead.
Like a child, they basically act as though success is a guaranteed, and it's like a lottery ticket.
Use the left 2 lanes to turn slightly left to stay on Manhattan Bridge lower roadway.
Services to get themselves out there on social media. You're also right that it's usually the beta males that are footing the bill for this. One of my female clients left and abandoned her own son, and the son overdosed and died. She wrote about it and made a blog about her experiences trying to make some money off of it. I was commissioned to take pictures for her at her son's grave. She was always telling me how things were out of control. She could never take me.
Continue on Manhattan Bridge for 1.5 miles. In 1.3 miles, stay to the left to Canal Street.
But she left. But of course, being a woman, she can never take responsibility for these actions. On top of that, she wasn't the one for taking the pictures. It was actually the beta male partner that she was with that was giving her the money. She rejected him when he was younger and went on to end up having a disease for many years later. She was supposed to get her together. I get told my ex-girlfriends here or there constantly out of the blue, or women that I show interest in each other. I guess they haven't found their shot yet. They're waiting to see if my life is going, because they can see their passion and their job. But if they decide that after they're disappearing around the age of 27 or 50, they're going to step. That's usually when the women get back to the world. The further away those women that are actually there, the question becomes
In half a mile, stay to the left to Canal Street. Continue straight.
social media and signal that people is out there and what the concept of their value. And they still exist and that they're ready to settle down now that they're married.
In a quarter mile, use the left 2 lanes to turn slightly left onto Canal Street.
If they could avoid something women, looking to find a man that would have enough surplus money for them, but will actually have enough surplus money. harder into the betas like they used to. No matter how much the men in meat tackle the women hit the wall and then settle for some loser, it's not happening. Their standards are going up and up as they age along with their demands. Maybe 10 or
Stay to the left to Canal Street. Then continue straight on Canal Street.
the women that I know in their late 30s and early 40s. They're fighting incredibly hard to keep their looks, getting nose jobs, facials, breast augmentations, and training their bodies harder and harder. It's chat or nothing, just like for many men going their own way, it's an all or nothing. So both men and women are staying single as a result. In the past, women were forced to get married because they couldn't go out and work and make their own money. It was simply a no-brainer. Today, on the other hand, it's a completely different world. Anonymous A-hole, the options 1 through 3 that you sent me are increasingly off the table for many women. Even the fat and unattractive women that work for nonprofits won't settle for betas anymore. The only reason I would see a woman marrying these days is if she gets baby rabies, and that's what the guy wants in exchange for impregnating her. She gets pregnant, the relationship quickly ends, and he has to pay her child support. That's the plan all along. I know one well-to-do guy in his 40s that only dates women that are older than him. His father is going to leave him a fortune worth...
Use the left 2 lanes to turn slightly left onto Canal Street.
...that he should go for the ones in their 20s. Instead, he has no idea about his own sexual marketplace value. Women prey on guys like this. Just to recap, the only epiphany I think women have these days is when they finally realize that their best option for finding Chad after they hit 30 is to find a newly divorced guy or a widower that's a naive alpha because he's been in a relationship for a decade or two and doesn't understand how female nature has changed. Anyways, that's all I've got to say. Thanks again, Anonymous A-hole, for your donation and your topic. Don't forget to smash the like button, bang the bell, and check out the Midtown Mystery link. To get tomorrow's video today, follow me on Twitter or like me on Facebook. Subscribe to me on Minds.com to get the video for the day after tomorrow. Thanks for taking your daily dose of red pills. And remember, a red pill a day keeps the naive ex-husbands away. So enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.
Continue straight on Canal Street. Continue on Canal Street for 1 mile.
Hi everyone, Same Man here. This video is brought to you by a donation from Michael, and here's what he has to say. Hey Sandman, I'm a 27-year-old guy. I'm very good looking, very intelligent, and extremely fit, because I compete in various combat sports. Physically and mentally I would consider myself to be a catch, but I'm not financially successful at this point in my life. I've never had a serious girlfriend, and I've only actually been intimately involved with 3 women my entire life. I think a lot of this can be attributed to my lack of social skills in my younger years. I heard you mention in a video that you resent your dad for not giving you any social skills, and I can relate to this. I also grew up in a very religious cult where shaming language is used against anyone who explores the outside.
In half a mile, stay to the left to Canal Street.
When speaking about minor social issues. I think my predisposition to self-consciousness was exacerbated by the massive amount of PUA content I was consuming at the time. David Angelo mostly. On one hand, his material helped by shocking me out of my belief that women are innocent creatures to be admired and cherished. On the other hand, it made it virtually impossible to smoothly interact with the women I would meet in class or at parties, because I was always up in my head stressing about how to respond. Like most self-help information, a lot of PUA stuff is presented to make the consumer feel like he's actually a hopeless mess, and the only way to sort things out is to keep buying PUA products. As I write this, I think the constant shaming I experienced by these religious nutjobs destroyed any self-esteem I might have had at a very young age. For this reason, even after my family and I left the cult, I still retain the habit of seeking out other authority figures to help me get to the point where I can actually accept myself. So what started out as an isolation from women because of no game eventually blossomed into a lack of interest. I'm in monk mode right now and have actually been there for quite a while, because I don't actually want to put forth the effort required to get any action. I have a reasonably high sex drive, but it's not enough to make me willing to deal with women's BS for even 5 minutes, even though I've never actually been in a serious relationship before. I understand that women are generally self-serving and never tire of playing games and love their drama. Time in the workplace and viewing women through the MGTOW lens has opened up my eyes and raised more questions at the same time. I'm starting to apply myself more than ever to my hobbies so I can turn them into a source of income because that seems to be the only path to fulfillment. That being said, I wonder if I should maybe date a woman or two, at least chat with some over coffee in order to actually balance out my perspective. I kind of detest them right now and don't actually want to live my life in rage mode. I'm a perfectionist and don't actually put myself out there nearly enough for fear of rejection, and I wonder if this is all tied to my strange history or lack thereof with women. I'm not asking to be told what to do. I just want some input on my situation because it's kind of unusual. I love your videos and have been consuming content from you and turd-flinging monkey like a maniac this summer and will continue to do so. I will continue to donate more. I know that you received some criticism for your format early on, but I think it kicks ass. Your videos are long enough to adequately explore a topic, but short enough not to discourage me from committing to a lengthy presentation. Your delivery is stellar, the pictures are top-notch, and the entertainment value is always there. Keep doing your thing because you're pretty much bringing a tremendous amount of value to men out there who might have actually made some stupid decisions otherwise. Thanks again. Well, Michael, thanks for your donation, and I can actually pull a topic out of the words that you sent me for sure. The bottom line is this, that people have either held you down either through religion because they wouldn't actually let you become independent of the cult, and thus you were dependent on an authority figure, or your lack of socialization from your father means you didn't actually have a normal childhood that allowed you to interact with other kids and form proper relationships at a young age. If you didn't do that, it means that you will generally never be able to do those things because those skills are pretty much picked up at a young age. And if you don't, it's almost impossible to learn them. So what you did was compensate for all of that to a certain extent by working out and boosting your intelligence. I tried the same exact thing. But the thing is, you can always change your appearance, but you can't change how you were socialized. Improving your looks is a good way to compensate in the areas that are easier for you. That way you can build yourself up with the least amount of resistance. But keep in mind, you're not going to be able to be a normal person with a normal conversation and normal friends.
Rap music is garbage.
And one of a kind. Women don't like this.
I used to love rap music until I realized it's garbage. All they tell you to do is go do fuckery. Why you pay these guys, these same motherfuckers turn around and rob you and make a song about it? Think about it. Stop spreading that fuckery. How old are you? Trust me, I ain't mad at you. I used to buy every album until I realized what it do to you.
The best thing you can probably hope for is some nice personality. Other ways to compensate for your troubled socialization.
In 1,000 feet. Stay to the left to Canal Street.
This fucking idiot. You fucking mooly.
And I pretty much make people awestruck by my mind, especially women. A combination of a good body and creative humor, as well as general intelligence, is one way to compensate for the inability to read people's personalities. Hence, that's why I believe we saw the rise of the nerd culture back in the 1970s and 80s. If you don't have good social skills and you fail every time you try, then you put your effort into things that do yield results and elevate your status in other ways. Everything you describe about yourself tells you that you have a lack of social skills.
Stay to the left to Canal Street. Police reported ahead.
In reality, is socializing with others as a defined equation instead of a something that's more intuitive. That's why I recommend that you got involved with the PUA community. I've concluded in my own life that socialization in general is intuitive with practice if you fit in while you're still younger. If you don't get accepted by your peers at a young age, then you tend to wander the wasteland alone for most of your later life. And in your life, you found out the cult that you were a member of sent you for another one, the PUA one.
You guys have a good one.
The thing about the pickup artist community is that they partially red pill you, but they don't actually want to fully red pill you because you're not afraid of this.
In a quarter of a mile. Turn right on West Street.
They wanted you to be dependent on just like the church you were a member of. The voice would be in the front. We probably got involved with two-way culture because it felt subconsciously familiar to it. That's why two-ways don't like picture. With regards to dating again,
In 1,000 feet, use the right 2 lanes to turn right onto West Street.
is going my own way. If you do start dating again, be ready for Red Pill Rage Stage 2.0 in those relationships, and because you'll pretty much see the games we were forced to play to be with those women. You will see the passive-aggressive situations and manipulations that they inflict on you. My feeling is that the youth
Come on, big chat, right? I ain't saying
success might actually mean getting together with a woman.
the bomber clad.
The woman for about a month or two, getting some action about a dozen times.
Turn right on West Street. Use the right 2 lanes to turn right
Yo,
onto West
hold
Street.
up. You took my shit off? Yo, hold up.
And then she fully figures out that you're a different.
My cocksucker. What the fuck you at?
Continue for 4 miles.
Smoke a sip and take a lick. Whoa, 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 smoke a sip and take a sip. Here we don't pass me the chalice and take a take a sip. Put down the nana and country. Whoa, 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 we have to make the mistake. Now we're the brand and now we smoke the we spell it with a G-A and I'll call it Jamaican. So me tell Babylon to not to touch me down. And me tell the wicked man to not to cut it down. Me never come up on your place and try to shut it down. I never use me bulldoze and try to buck it down. Me tell the youth them bring some weed and me touch it come. I tell them bring some more food and me touch it come. I said them want the weed gone. Then I must have from the prep of plant the weed and figure out the gun. Haters and haters. So me tell the youth them self plant up the whole of Jamaica. Haters and haters. Spell it with a G-A and I'll call it Jamaica. Haters and haters. I'm blowing on me yard to the weed. Me have to run the haters and haters. Yo, again a bigger judgment. Hey, see that now? Bo 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 helicopter come. Bo 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 invade the weed ground. Bo 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 me fly the next drum. Bo 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 50 pound a bomb. Yo, me nah go swap it for no coke, nah swap it for no opium. Nah swap it for no Hennessy, nah swap it for no rum. Nah swap it for no bullet, nah swap it for no gun. Proper infrastructure, no one tell them bring the money come. And I'm the smoke, and the joke, when you take the gold. And I'm the smoke, make it show. Oh, oh, oh. And the joke, when you take the gold. They know them fighting in Arizona. I know me see them plant up so much I California. We're planting haters and haters. So me tell the youth them that they plant up the whole of Jamaica. Haters and haters. They could spell it with a G-A and I call it Jamaica. Haters and haters. Let me hear it for the reapers and the valiants and the cultivators. Haters and haters. Loving on me heart for the weed, my bun the haters. Yo, then why them fight the weed? Every day they try to keep the weed, yeah. To come back, we have to run for fantasy. I'm planting up on great cars without the weed, yeah. Smoking to the